Okay, so this screencast is going to walk through the class example we did for class 3. So I'm going to go ahead and make a new case. I'm going to make that actually really quickly, and I'm not going to fill in everything like I would normally recommend because we're just going to do a quick demo here. So I've actually created the case file. I'm now going to add evidence. I'm going to add an evidence file. So I'm actually going to open up class 3. So this is an example, and this evidence file I've already processed. Apparently there's a little lag on the render there. Yeah. Okay, there we go. So I've already processed the evidence. We can already see signature analysis. We have an alias. Obviously that alias looks a little suspicious. It says it's a zip file. It's calling it a document. If I go to the actual document tab, I can see that it's trying to render it, and there's information there, but I can't see it. So I'm going to go to remember, and I'm going to go to hex. And okay, so this is a little odd, right? So we find that the key is font color. So if I bounce back, I'm going to go to that doc view again. I can't see anything. I know there's something there. I can pop over to transcript, and I can see by doing that, this is a Microsoft Word or Office Word document. So I can definitely export it and open in Word if I wanted to, or I can actually go through and kind of scroll. So I can look at transcript here, and I see some values that are obviously probably hidden. Maybe the font color has been set to white, so on a white background it appears invisible, which would be why in the document view I'm seeing nothing, but there's values there, because if I select, I can see that there's stuff there. It's not visible. I can also go over to hex. I can scroll down, and here again I see some information that is similar to what I'm seeing in transcript. So obviously we can see here with the class 2 metadata.7zip file that we actually have an encrypted and protected file. So that's obviously been locked. So what we're going to do is, in order to try to unlock it and do some password guessing, I'm going to actually I'm going to right select that. I'm going to go to entries, and I'm going to go to copies. So I'm going to just copy the highlighted file. I'm going to go to next. I'm going to take the logical file only. I'm going to leave the character mask as none. And basically now I'm going to, I can export that out. Let's say we'll jump that to the desktop. I already have it there, but you know, if you obviously don't, it's not going to give you that message. I'm going to go yes, and we're going to do a finish. So now I have a 7-zip file on my desktop, which is here. So we know it's 7-zip. We talked about in class that you need to have 7-zip, the program, installed. So what we're going to do is, I already have that installed. So I'm going to go to 7-zip. I'm going to do an open archive. So I'm going to do show password, and if I go and I look, so I'm going to go back to this forget.zip file, because of course this is a small grouping of files, but I'm going to look for values that I might be able to use for that. So I have Heiderman, I have password 1291, and I also have HSCJ310. So I'm going to try that one. I'm going to copy just that. Actually, I kicked over to the 7-zip, so I was actually here. So I basically copied the by selecting control key and C from Ncase on the remember file or forget.zip file, because I'm thinking one of these things might be the password for this particular file. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to paste that in. Make sure it is just that. Make sure I didn't copy any spaces with it. And I'm going to do OK. Of course, I have it now, so I have actually now I've actually have access to that. Now I want to get this back into Ncase, so I'm going to do an extract. I'm going to drop that to my desktop, and I already have it there, but we're going to overwrite it. I'm going to go ahead and close this. So now here is that file structure, and now I want to get that back in EnCase. So I'm going to go to EnCase. I'm going to quickly realign some stuff here, and then I'm going to drag and drop this in, and now it dropped it into a single file. So now I'm in the single files, and I want to acquire this. So instead of actually looking at the live files on the desktop, I'll actually do an acquisition. So I'm going to select everything in the folder by selecting the checkbox. I'm going to right select, acquire, logical evidence file, and I'm going to do HSCJ310 Class03. I'm going to do A, and then this is evidence number 002. I'm going to use the same case number. I already have my output path set, so you have to make sure you're dropping that where you want to. I'm putting that in my documents folder, so under my case or HSCJ310 folder, and I'm going to do an OK. So it's going to basically go out and create that. Now I need to go back to my Home tab, and I need to add that evidence file I just created. So I'm going to add that. Here it is. I'm going to do open, and so now I have it. What I'm going to do here is I don't need the single files anymore because I just acquired them. I'm going to checkbox that. I'm going to remove it and say yes. Now I'm going to drill in to what I just brought in, which is these files, and I am going to process those. All right, and as the processor comes up, I'm going to let it run as default, and I'm going to watch for processor options in the bottom right. So basically what I've done is I've actually taken the files that were in the 7-zip file that were encrypted, I unencrypted them, exported their file structure out, brought it into EnCase, and acquired it, so it in essence locks it in place so that I can't do anything with it. All right? So I have a pristine copy to work with. The other thing I should have done here, and obviously with the other evidence as well, is actually, hang on a second here. So we did do processing. So I'm going to go back out. I'm going to, remember you have to back out and go back in to get it to render all of your results. And now, of course, I can do signature analysis. So this is the example that we used in, I'm sorry, it's still running. I'm a little bit fast here. So I'm going to drill back in and get some new information here. So now I have that there. So this is obviously what you saw in class 1, but and or class 2. Now, this is an example. Now, when you do assignment 3, you obviously are going to have to use the techniques that I illustrated here in trying to find the password. You're also going to have to export any encrypted files or protected, like if it's 7-zip, you'll export it like I illustrated. Then you'll have to get into it by guessing the password or finding it in evidence. Then you'll have to generate or export the actual unencrypted files out of that encrypted file, import it into EnCase, and then you can finish up your classwork on that. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully this is a good refresher for you. And if you have questions, let me know. Thanks.